This is the Jim and Terry Show, coming to you from Bob Cajun, the heart of all that is well and good with Canada.
Yeah, did you hear, Terry?
That everything's not well and good and that we're broken? What's broken about us, Jim?
Yeah, this is Jim.
I can't remember. Did you put your shoes on this morning?
Oh, I don't know.
I can't remember.
No, we were just talking about what's wrong with people. Why people do what they do. And why do they vote for who they want to vote for? And we haven't talked too many in this series of talks that we've been doing. We haven't mentioned Trump really, I don't think at all, in these last 5 shows we've just done. Am I right on that?
I think so, but maybe we've alluded to something in the background. But let's go to where this was going to go, which is we have the receipts.
Yeah. What out of the horse's mouth, what he said, and then what he says he didn't say, and what his people say he didn't say when they were there and he said it. And they repeated what he had said, but now they say they didn't say it. And they didn't say it because he never said it, even though they did say it. But that was probably like Roger Stone saying this was all doctored, and none of that's coming out of my mouth, even though you can see my mouth moving. And any lip reader will tell you this is exactly what I said. I didn't say that.
You have summed that up perfectly. I don't think I could ask you to repeat that because I don't even know I understood exactly what you're saying, except that you're right. So here's my question. What is broken about people, not just people in America, people everywhere, where we can be shown what is now called in communication language, the receipts, as in we can replay the tape, rewind it, and cue it, and there we hear it, and you said it, and it's on tape. But nobody seems to care that this was actually a lie on tape. We can play it 1,000,000 times. People will still vote for, in this case, Trump. How about DeSantis? He was on tape saying he thinks, Biden's the worst president ever and that I'd never take COVID assistance from the federal government because that's socialism, and now he's begging for hurricane assistance, which is
Well, I know
socialism.
that was like Texas too, like we want our own power and everything. Go, can you help us now? We don't have any power.
Yeah, now that we isolated ourselves in Texas.
I know it's all bull. It's all to get elections, and this is why I think this is one of the problems with the people, Terry, is I think it starts with the fact that everybody's full of it, or if they're not, there's a misunderstanding, and you think the person is full of it when you really didn't understand the whole story in the beginning. Hard to explain, but what happens is people somehow just once they start believing have to. It was like I forget our conversation upstairs earlier, but I said to you, I think it was on a show, and I said I felt that way too. But I changed.
Yes.
Yeah, it was about climate control. I changed. I looked at the evidence and thought, if the whole world's saying this, who am I to deny it? So what brought part of this subject up was I know Trump's people trying to backtrack on what they said when they were in the service of Donald Trump. But did you hear just the other day in that interview, he basically said right on TV with his own words on Fox, if you sign a contract with me, man, you're on your own because I have a disclaimer there telling you that these are just our made up figures. And you know him. He can declassify something just with his mind, just wishing it to be. So he can also say, well, I mean, at that time, I thought the property was 30,000 square feet. It turns out it's only 11. You should have looked into that. So his word, his word means nothing, and what he speaks is completely a lie. Now, why anybody would want to defend that, let alone defend it,
let alone believe it,
is beyond me at this point.
So here we have Tucker Carlson, who, as part of his defense, said, and his lawyers claimed, that you cannot believe, no reasonable person would believe what he's saying is true. Then we have that same defense being used by one of Trump's Kraken lawyers, Sidney Powell.
He's gone through 1,000.
Sidney Powell, who used the same defense. Cannot believe that was just a figure of speech. You cannot believe that that's real. I would really say that.
Why would you? They're insulting the people who believed.
Yes.
They're insulting them right to their face.
And Trump is too.
Yeah, right to their face. And Trump knows he's lying.
Yeah.
And he knows he's conning you, but This is the sick thing about society. I don't know if it's around the world, probably, but it's in America and Canada. You can be lied right to your face, and somehow you want to admire that person who's making you a fool. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
So what is broken? Is it people who are broken, or is it the politicians who are broken? Because those examples we gave you was Trump, a politician. But then there are lawyers who are supposed to stand by their words who've been also charged with, not charged yet, but lying. And you can be disbarred for misrepresenting. Yeah. So Trump's lawyers, there's Sidney Powell's under an investigation to disbar her, as well as Eastman, the other lawyer, Jeffrey Clark, another lawyer, disbarred. Those investigations are going on.
Rudy
Giuliani has been disbarred.
And there's like way more than that as well. Dealing with this guy that cannot tell the truth if his life depended on it.
Okay, that's Trump, who we know lies, and yet broken people, are voting for him.
Yeah, and I remember there was this couple I knew, a young couple, and whenever they were together, always, not once in a while, not maybe, I don't know what it was like if they had physical relationships or not, but outside of that, all they did is fight, and brutal fight. All they did is fight. That was what they did. It was annoying. It was horrible, but that was all they did. And I thought, this is your warm soup. This is your home. This fighting makes you feel like you're in a relationship. It was absolutely not right. And I got a funny feeling society's gone into this mental stream of, if you're not absolutely appalled with somebody else, you're not living. And maybe they're living their life through this absolute, if he wasn't rich and everything, joke of a person trying to be something he's not.
Can I make a parody, a play on words? I was appalled until I called Better Get Saul. Better Get Saul. I followed that show, binge watched most of that. Yeah, appalled. Should we be appalled at the same things, or can we be appalled at different things? Like, do we have to be appalled at the same things?
Well, it's funny you open that up, because it makes you wonder about your own sanity.
I often wonder that.
I'm vigorously thinking this. Am I right? Or am I like someone who just heard their hero say that any contract I've made's got a disclaimer on it? Like, are you kidding me? And he's still your hero. He's still your Orange Jesus. He's still God's man to rule the country.
That's one of my favorite phrases.
In your mind, is this still real? How is that to be? I cannot understand. I can't get my head around it. And then it makes me think, is everything like this? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm just, my subject matter is just weird to them. I don't know.
So how can we bridge these? They're definitely a tale of two cities, a tale of two ideologies, I guess. There's the reality, and then there's the Kellyanne Conway alternate reality. Something that's opposite, where the opposites are true. We've called this Superman's Bizarro World. I called it, from Stranger Things, the upside down, when things are just flipped.
Yeah, they are. And I can't help but think, again, you've often said this, follow the money. Like, are you selling your soul for the sake of prosperity? And are you being prosperous, Kelly, because the church you go to says if God truly loves you, if you're one of the chosen, you'll be prosperous? Well, I'm telling you right now, that's not true.
Well, this is Kellyanne Conway's the one source that we were talking about, and Harris Faulkner on Fox, as well as, say, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, with the cross chain around, which indicates a Christian orientation towards life, light, and truth. And yet saying, I think it was Kayleigh McEnany who said, Trump does not lie, period. Statement.
Well, she should, remember, again, I'll go back to, I told you, I've changed my viewpoint on climate. It's time for people like this to say, I've changed. Obviously, when you see him, everybody knows who's intelligent at all, including all the people you just mentioned, that Trump is a liar. You know that.
So
he
you
lies.
think they're all being paid, and money is the root of
And
all
the
evil?
money is, in my opinion, money is the root of all evil. And follow the money, you'll find that probably these hosts for Fox, well, we know that Tucker Carlson's making a
Gazillions,
mitt full of
yeah.
money. And he don't care who dies. And I think, allegedly, I don't know how you say it, as Stephen Colbert would say, are we all right? Lawyers okay? Okay, allegedly. But I mean, you can't be that successful and believe what you're saying. You just can't. I don't buy that. That's the ultimate lie.
So your advice is follow the money.
Follow the money. Are they making millions of dollars?
Murdoch's special on CNN. Follow the money.
When is that?
I think it's this Sunday night.
I got to see it. I have
All
to
right.
see it.
Jim and Terry Show signing off for now. Bye-bye.
Bye.